All right, we are live, allegedly. We'll hopefully get some people in the chat who can confirm whether or not we're actually on. But hey, good to have everybody here. Welcome in the comments section, fellow Whitecloaks, friends, countrymen, dark fans, whoever you may be. We're here today to have sort of a chill stream. We got Prophet of the Dragon on, a few of the Whitecloaks, a couple of our guests. And just kick it off. I'll start with our guest of honor, Prophet Steve. If you want to just say hi to everyone, and I'll start you off.
Hi, everyone. No, honorary White Cloak, I'd like to think, right? I mean, I put
For
enough
sure.
time in, right? I hope, maybe.
For sure. For
Close.
sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Nice to follow someone else's lead when it comes to some of this stuff. But yeah, it's going to hopefully be fun bashing Rajanor and company.
Perfect. We're definitely going to do a little bit of that. And let's see. Let's go with Alex next. Alex, where are you joining us from, by the way? I think you're on the road.
Yeah, Alex Green, joining you all from the Hyatt Airport in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So, going to be hitting bar as soon as we're done here.
Not before we started, huh? You're holding out.
Nope.
Fair enough. Well, I was going to pass it over to Trip. Trip is one of our regulars on Whitecloaks. I think a fan favorite from View Counts, but she's having a little bit of technical issues, I think. So we'll have her on to introduce herself here in a little bit shortly, hopefully. Oh, okay. She just joined back in. Trip, I'm not sure if your mic issues are in there. You able to talk?
I seem to be
Good.
able to now.
Perfect.
Good.
All right. Well, hey, Trip, hail, and please just give us a shout out and say where you're joining from, and I don't know, anything else you want to say.
Just joining from home in Colorado, and yeah, just here to talk about the lovely AMA. Huge Wheel of Time fan, big Whitecloaks fan, so thanks for having me.
All right. Well, I think that just leaves us with our very own, very special Dane Bornhold. So, Dane, give us a shout out, and then lead us into why we're talking about a 6-month-old AMA.
He's muted.
Dane, you got yourself
Muted.
Dane with the fancy mic muted himself.
Uh-oh. I think he's done.
Man. I think he's totally off.
I guess it wouldn't be Whitecloaks without a robot Dane every once in a while, right?
Okay. Well, Dane, I don't know if you need to hop out and try and rejoin. Trip was having similar issues there, and maybe we can just kind of lead off. So I'll try and do my best Dane impression while he maybe has to hop back out and in. So Dane came to me, said that he wanted to cover over the old Reddit AMA that Rafe Judkins did as the showrunner, and kind of do like a retrospective, basically, looking back at this. So for context, for people who maybe can't remember this, the AMA was dropped, I believe, right after episode 3. First 3 episodes all came out together, and then this is the AMA that sort of came out after that. I don't know if that matches with your guys' recollections. Anyone else?
Yeah. As far as I can remember, yeah.
So a whole wide-ranging set of topics were covered, and I think that there's generally been a consensus that not all of those Ask Me Anything answers might have been entirely truthful. So we're just going to try and go through it a little bit.
Shocked.
Yeah, I know. The funny thing, right? And I wanted to get your take, because I think you've been doing some of the Rings of Power stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, some of it, obviously not an expert, but I've been touching on it here and there, yeah.
So I looked around, and I haven't seen anything on a Rings of Power sort of AMA or something like that. But like, given modern show running, it's only a matter of time, right? Like it's gonna happen.
I think not. I don't think so because I think they're
You don't think
afraid.
so?
I don't think so. I think they're afraid because I think there's a lot going on with Rings of Power, besides for not being really Lord of the Rings, but
Mm-hmm.
I think they're afraid. I think they're fully aware of the ratios they're getting on YouTube and everywhere else. I don't think they want to invite any of that scrutiny because they're going to have to do a lot of sifting through questions to get softballs for these guys. Any of the stuff we got from past media from them, besides for not getting a trailer or anything for till 2 months out, was Payne and McKay are such nice guys, and that's it. So I don't think we're gonna get an AMA from these people that are destroying these shows. I'm surprised Rafe did one. Rafe did one because he says he's a longtime Wheel of Time fan when he's not. I think he's just that arrogant that he thought he could have got it by everybody. I don't think you're gonna see one. I just don't think.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Oh.
speaking of the arrogance, we got to lead it back to Dane.
All right. So I wasn't entirely sure if this worked on Safari or worked on Chrome better. So I swapped it over to Chrome. So hopefully I don't cut out anymore. But getting back to getting back to why we're doing or I thought of let's revisit the AMA is we just got through the first 3 episodes of the rewatch, and it was kind of right after those 3 episodes that the AMA happened, and a lot of it was I think to address the concerns that people were having on those first 3 episodes. So as with everything with the rewatch, with the benefit of hindsight, I thought maybe it's time to those answers that he gave with a fine-tooth comb, and knowing what we know now, let's view that kind of in the full context, which is kind of what we're doing with the rewatch too. So
Okay,
that was the impetus behind it.
Yeah, I think definitely worth running through. Hopefully you guys agree with us here. Before we dive into it, though, just bringing some people out from the comments. OBG70, we got Aldan. We got a couple people who I haven't necessarily seen on the Whitecloaks channel before. Maybe Prophet of the Dragon fans. You see some of these if you want to call out your buddies.
Hold on, I gotta say real quick, Max.
Max, we definitely see. He's awesome on pretty much every channel.
9 o'clock, Max. I need you because I don't know anything about this stupid Wheel of Time game, and you're like my guide for all the weapons. So we're gonna be playing again at 9 with Easton. But yeah, Max, glad to see you. I need you, man. You're my wingman on that game. So, Tank Plank, thanks for coming, and Aldan, of course, always, brother.
Aldan is going to be on one of the rewatches coming up.
We can't see you, man. Where'd you go?
Oh, you can't. All right, I'll switch.
There you go.
Maybe you can see.
Special shout out to Jonathan.
I'm trying to.
He's been one of our most loyal followers. Love that.
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
Jonathan's on. Great.
Good.
Hope you guys are liking this.
People hopping in.
Yeah,
good to see some people hopping in. I'm not sure how often we'll do this going forward. I think just whenever the inspiration strikes. But I'd be remiss without, again, Prophet, thanks for coming by. And anybody who's watching this, Prophet's doing another stream tonight. I think that starts at 9. So we'll either be done by then or he'll duck out and he's going to be playing the Wheel of Time video game. I think getting crushed from the streams that I've watched. Is that a fair synopsis?
I don't think he's getting crushed by it. I think Easton is his ace in the hole because he wouldn't get past the first level without him.
That's probably
I guess
right. Yeah,
I guess that's one way of looking at it.
I think of both of you are probably 100% accurate, making me look stupid and my ace in the hole. But shush.
Perfect.
Right.
All right. Well, without further ado, again, thank you everyone for coming out. And let's get onto the main event here. Why we're actually here. I guess Dane, you might not have caught all this. So Steve thinks that we're not going to see one of these from the Rings of Power. I'm sort of skeptical. I think this one came out after episode attempted damage control, right? Like, do you guys agree with me on that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of accurate because this is still early days. I think I joined the Whitecloaks subreddit within a day of this coming out. So it was bringing people to Reddit. But a lot of people with the show, with the first 3 episodes, knew that there was something wrong. And a lot of it had to do with the stuff that they kind of left out. But everyone was still kind of hoping that further episodes this season would have that, right? Like, oh, Perrin's already met we didn't know yet that we weren't going to see Bail Doman or Elias, but we didn't get Baerlon, for example. Mm-hmm. And we saw the Aiel in a cage, and some people were thinking, is that Gaul? There are other kind of create.
He said
we'll get to that. Like, I've got something to say on that, and I'm sure Trip does too. But this is kind of where I think the hopium kind of peaked, and they just did it to stoke more hopium. And some of the answers he gives here, given what we know now, they're duplicitous as fuck, man.
So like, I think that's probably dead on. Like, I don't remember that. I have a vague recollection of this. I don't, to be honest, I don't remember a lot of it. So reading through this will be interesting again, because I don't, I've sort of started to avoid some of these AMAs because they're just mostly useless and softballs, and there's nothing really in them. I know Sanderson's AMAs are pretty dry these days, at least for me. You get a few little gems in there, but nothing too great. But
they don't answer tough questions. And I think all the comments that we'll see here are kind of ranked by the red karma. Yeah. So we're not actually seeing the responses kind of chronologically, but the softballs will come first.
Probably a good point for a question. Going around the panel, let's go Dane across the top here. How many of us actually submitted a question on this AMA? Did any of you guys?
I didn't, but I saw LPK's question way down at the bottom.
Oh, really? It's on the list here?
It wasn't answered, but you'll see why. We'll get to that.
Okay. We'll have to get to that. I did submit a question. I don't remember what it was. It definitely was not answered. Trip, I think I saw you trying to talk.
Oh, I was just going to say, no, I didn't see it until too late, so I didn't get a chance. But to comment on what you were talking about a second ago, reading through this now after the fact, it is so disingenuous. And, the responses to the questions and the answers, that's the perfect example of copium all I can say about that.
I didn't leave anything.
Vendel. So Ian Vendel brought up that we need to cover his tweets next, which, gosh, I don't know if we have the heart for that. But Ian Vendel, been awesome in the comments section and supporting our channel and the other Wheel of Time channels. He actually brought up a couple of videos back in our rewatch, I think, that we neglected to call out the fact that Valda referred to the questioners as questioners, which would not happen within the Children of the Light. They, children internal monologue might have called them questioners, but they were to them as the Hand of the Light, right? Otherwise, you get on the wrong side of them.
If you were in it, you would call yourself the Hand of the Light. Yeah, but even not Niall's internal monologue calls them questioners. So
like everybody
very good point.
Anybody but a questioner is pretty much calling them questioners. Hand of the Light is anybody internally, because they're even, I guess, more zealot like than the children, if that's possible, and dirtier, right? But they think questioner's a dirty word, pretty much.
Yeah, and honestly, Whitecloaks generally too. They call themselves Whitecloaks in the show, I think, as well. So, all right, let's go through it. Let's see. Scrolling down here, some of the top comments, and we'll just see them. Dane, you can drive me down towards LPKs if we get short on time. But here we go. Sing off the bat. So, what do you guys got here? He's saying that just wait until you meet Uno, and then you'll get those Wheel of Time swears.
Is Uno still alive? Or did he get stabbed to death by Pad and Fane?
What's the difference? That's my answer to that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, the knife doesn't kill anybody, so whatever. Maybe he got stabbed, maybe he didn't. He's fine.
But at least here you've got people basically realizing, like, why are you not using blood and ashes? Why are you not using flaming? Why aren't you using kind of any of the in-world swearing? Why are you inserting shite? And like... Matt's mom calls her kids like bitches, although it gets cut off before that. Like, why? Why?
Blood and Ashes is used once by Rand. Matt doesn't say it once.
But this response, blood and ashes, give us some time. Why do you need time to build up in-world swearing? Why isn't this something that you can do right off the bat? Why is this something that you have to kind of ease the audience into? It's ridiculous. And
when did we actually meet Uno?
Well, we should be used to it at that point. Yeah.
I think Uno comes in episode 7,
barely.
but
episode 7, and
he doesn't have.
I was going to bring up what he actually
was there
says.
When they were.
So
he was there
he
digging
greets
out
Lan.
the horn from under the.
He greets Lan and he says something like, "You great flaming bastard," or something like that. Is that what you guys remember in the dialogue?
I don't remember him even being I know he was there. I don't remember it. All I know is he was there with his eye patch. He's about 8 feet shorter than everybody else. He looks like a tiny next to everybody. And I screamed because, they're digging the horn out of the floor in Faldara. So that's about my recollection of Uno in the show.
So Uno does do some in-world swearing, but he marries it with bastard?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, and he has a total of 2 lines. So, wait until you meet Uno. You're going to kill him within 4 sentences. What does it matter?
Fantastic. Well,
yeah.
Anyways, quality of the AMA. This is the top response that he gave. It's not holding up very well. So, what's up, Easton? What's going on, buddy?
Go ahead, say hi.
Hi.
I'm stealing his name.
Nice.
As any good parent should. Right?
Sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine.
Oh man. So James with the good call out there.
Trying to.
Oh
yeah,
my
seriously.
God. Pissing in your mouth is sick and disgusting.
And there it is.
Well, it's one of those things you should be used to.
You
should be used to hit all some of the weird word, the different lingo. By the time you get to Uno, because Uno uses that stuff like commas, right? I mean, you should just be ready for it.
I think that's actually a good point. That there's no build up to it. The longer you do sort of real world swearing, the more jarring it's going to be when you get to it. Imagine if Battlestar Galactica didn't introduce the word frack until season 5.
That's it. Yep.
Right?
Yeah. It's to get you used to it, to ease you in it. Matt should have been using blood and bloody ashes, and Nynaeve should have been like, Matt, watch your language right off the bat. Should have been right.
Because what are we gonna get? What are we gonna get instead? And that's if Uno was actually true to the books and always saying flaming goat kisser and blood and ashes all the time.
Yeah.
He, by comparison to everybody else in the show, is going to have the most polite language. He's going to have the cleanest mouth out of everybody because he doesn't actually say anything offensive. And how are they going to play that up?
He didn't call his children little bitches and say something about someone pissing in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. He's clean by comparison.
That'll be the twist. Yeah, that'll be the twist. He's extra nice. He's just you're so nice. You're so good. You're the best. He doesn't cuss at all.
What
I just want to say, Trip, go ahead.
I can't remember. Did we get any, sheep herder and woolhead? I think I remember one maybe, but that's about it.
No, because all of Lan's dialogue that got cut in favor of him giving it to Nynaeve.
Oh God.
Yeah, again, the blood and ashes thing was dropped once. Maybe we got a sheep herder.
We got a sheep sex joke, right? Rand's got the sheep to keep him warm. Bad Rand.
All right, just to prove that we're even-handed here, I just want to say I actually like this answer.
Well, it's a quip, I mean, this is the second highest rated one, but
sure, that's good. No, I'm fine with that.
Hey,
at least
we're being fair. We're being fair and saying, hey, until you screwed us on the next, 5 episodes, I was prepared to think you had a sense of humor.
Yeah, no, that's fine. This is fine. I'm good with that answer. It's nothing.
How do you guys?
Right?
I guess
How do you guys feel about this?
My only question is, did you
No.
make it very clear that we were going to be spoiling things beyond the season?
Yeah, they're
That's
afraid.
a good point.
They're afraid to let you know who the Dragon Reborn is the whole first season, but no, he just drops it at Selena's Lanfear. That's actually a very valid point. Yeah,
Alex with the big brain sort of call outs over here. That's actually a good point. I've read. I mean, most of us have read the series too many times to necessarily even think of that as a spoiler. But yeah, if you don't know who the dragon is, you would be shocked to find out who Selena is. Oh man.
this answer brings doom to my heart and gives me nightmares. I'll just leave it at that.
We're never going to get there, thank God.
I think. I hope not. If there, yes, Dane, I'm right there with you. I hope not.
Dane is going to love OBG70's answer here.
That's being generous. Maybe they'll cast a 6, but the makeup department will make them look like a fucking 2, because that's the only thing that they know how to do.
Trip, do we need to open the private chat so the two of you can have it out?
I'll leave it at that. Well, I'll stop. All
right. So
she's not going to be the most beautiful woman ever. But
I actually hope they get demised well. Sorry, Alex. I hope they get there just to see at this point how badly they screw it up.
Dude, all you need to see is what's going to happen in Falme, whatever the hell you want to call it, Flamey, which they'll call it, and you'll know exactly how it'll go. It'll be terrible. Like, I don't even want to see it.
I don't know. It's like a train wreck. Dane came up with that, whatever it is, something that you can have because you can't take your eyes away from a train wreck. That's what it is at this point.
Symphorophilia.
So
Symphorophilia, for those who are not educated on it, but it's the sexual fetish of car crashes.
So James here is agreeing with Alex. Alex, what do you got to say about?
You fucking kill.
I'm going to say the one thing that I'll say about Doom My Wells is if we hear rumors Doom My Wells is going to be in season 3, that means season 3 will be the last one. So that's
because that would be the end of book 6.
Yep.
Yeah, if he crushes book 6 into season 3.
Yeah,
Vendel's got it. Yep.
I'm getting a warning that I might have connection issues. Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we're still hearing you, Dane.
Okay, good. I just think if Rafe gets his hand Doom My Wells, who do you actually think is going to be kneeling at the end of it, Rand or the Aes Sedai?
Tame and Rand. Tame and Rand will be kneeling next to each other, holding hands.
It'll be the bad Aes Sedai, but it'll be Morena telling them to kneel. Well,
she'll be dead by now.
She's never going to die. She's the headliner.
She's not going to die. She's not going to die. Are you kidding? Right. She's the main character. Like, just behind Egwene is Moraine is the main character. Egwene's the main character. Moraine's right behind her. She's not going to die. No way.
OBG's asking the question we all know the answer to. I for one, I really hope that we don't see Doom My Wells. I mean, one of my absolute favorite scenes. I'm actually working on a sort of, or I guess, some content related to Doom My Wells, doing like a tactical map, kind of going through the battle, all that kind of stuff. But I don't think I want to see it adapt for all the reasons that you guys are saying.
He'll go willingly. He won't be put in a box. He'll just be like, "I'm a terrible person. Please take me away and gentle me." That'll be what it is.
Well,
they got rid of the leashes that Dungeon used, and they're going to put one on him instead.
They're going to whip him to get the goo to come out? Is that what you're saying? Just like in the...
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Well, given what we saw at probably something that's coming up in one of the close-in rewatches is the battle. If they do get to it, we'll have a total of, maybe 40 people in the battle of Doom My Wells.
Nobody can sword fight, so I don't know. There's definitely not. It's just going to be like two guys throwing weird-looking lightning bolts at each other, and like everybody standing around. How many women at the Black Tower? That's a good question. It will be all women telling the men how terrible they are. No, I don't know. I hope. I don't. Another thing. I hope there is no Black Tower. Like just
Black Tower.
What was that, Alex?
I said we're not getting to the Black Tower.
I mean, the Black Tower would be before Duma as well, right? I mean, unless they cut it out.
It would be. Yeah, it has to be, right? I mean, what Black Tower's what? Isn't it? Middle Fires of Heaven, right in there, right?
So he announces his plans at the end of the Fires of Heaven.
Yeah, you see the Ashaman until Lord of Chaos, but yeah, he announces it in Fires.
At the end, that he declares an amnesty, and then the early chapters in Lord of Chaos include him going down to the farm. But there's been some time jumps, whatever. So what do we think about this question and the response?
Yeah.
About okay, so there are pacing of all the episodes have shitty pacing, but it's like everything feels rushed, but it's also filled with so much filler. That's not really given here. And
I mean, just look at our rewatch for episode 2.
Yeah, we had nothing to talk about because nothing fucking happens in it.
Judkins cut.
But we also...
I know, the Judkins cut.
But he said the Judkins cut never really made it out of script form.
Yeah, let's talk about the script.
You know what we get?
The script got released kind of later, right? The first draft.
Well, we already know what we get from a Judkins cut. We got the deleted scene. We get a lot more nothing. So it's like, I know that's in the past, but like now we know it's like Judkins cut. Well, Morgan Gwaine walking to her pool of paint. Yay.
Yeah, and quite honestly,
good breakdown.
if Judkins actually got a 10-episode season and a 2-hour pilot, it would have been worse.
Yeah, do we think he would have done anything good with that extra hour of episode 1?
No. The only thing that the deleted scenes proved is that basically the whole fucking show should have been a deleted scene.
Well, we really need to thank whoever...
talks about...
Go ahead, Alex.
I like how we talk about bingeability. Rafe, this thing didn't once. This thing had 3 episodic releases. We're talking about bingeability. Like,
no one could binge it. They would have died of alcohol poisoning. I was literally too smashed to start episode 3 the night it came out. I had to mash my keyboard with an open palm, and I stumbled to bed.
Netflix asked if you were still watching and you were already drunkenly asleep.
Kind of.
Dude, he still counts he's an idiot. He's an idiot. Like the premiere will have more Coplans, Congers, and smithing. It's like, okay, great.
Why?
Yeah, let's see more of.
Like, what about all this stuff?
How about Tom Maryland?
Yeah, how about Tom Maryland? Yeah, being Tom Maryland, and the kid, the boys being just amazed at this not Aes Sedai at this point, but this lady that's rich and gives them these coins and like.
Oh, you mean something that could have driven the plot when they get separated.
And then maybe Rand dragging his father through a forest, worried about him, and okay.
Wait! We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that.
I just want to say, does anyone actually want to have seen more of Dana smithing?
No, and I think
it
was
Master
Layla
Lewin smithing, but with Perrin being his apprentice, but Dane.
Perrin's not allowed to be a blacksmith in this story. No. Let's go.
There's another answer to that a little bit later. It's just fucking hilarious, but let's get on to the next one. I think we can all feel
here's the one that
feel grateful we didn't get a Judkins cut because that would have been fucking cancer.
Trip, what do you have to say about this one?
It's a fucking lie.
Well, here's the thing. What is he not saying, right? So the question is, as his presence is important to Perrin's balance later in the series, tell me that was not Gaul in the cage. And then he says, it was not Gaul.
He's not saying Gaul is anywhere else in the story.
Exactly. He's not saying, don't worry, you'll see Gaul in a later season. What he's probably saying is, well, even though that character was completely inspired by Gaul and meant to be Gaul, since he didn't have any spoken dialogue, we didn't actually name him in the script. And therefore, it's technically not Gaul, because it's also Urian, Bane, and Chiad, and 7 other Aiel that we mashed into one so we could give everything to Avienda, who's going to be Perrin's dominatrix in season 2. Just you wait.
Alex, I think that you had some of the best comments in our most recent rewatch with Man of Methrin on this. What do you think? Perrin slack-jawed for another hour? Do you think we could take it?
I'm seriously, I think we need to make a video of the 10 best Perrin moments. Like, just the power rankings.
It's every time he's on screen. So I mean, you probably have to up it to 20.
Oh, and set some music to it, Pips.
Yeah, I'd have to get a soundtrack. What song do we think would be appropriate for the power ballad of Perrin's open mouth?
Oh God,
I don't even know,
man. Let's see. Amazon will just continue to pour resources into production crap content, or will they see 2-star ratings and back off? That's a good question, G Fox. I mean, what do you guys? I think that we're going to see at least season 3. The question is whether or not they actually try and alter the course during any of it, or if they just crash it into the side of a building and then season 3 just ends. What do you guys think?
I think it's on the course it's going to go. I don't think. I mean,
all these people know how to do is all they know how to do is double down. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to see more of the same in season 2, and maybe if the numbers actually kind of go the way they think they're going to go, everybody's kind of writing this off. You know, if we don't hear an announcement for season 3 before season 2 actually airs, yeah, the writing's on the wall. But I mean, there were other things too. Rumors that Rajnor was leaving the show. That's completely like Amazon has obviously told him there might not be a season 3. This season 2 needs to knock it out of the park, and he's already looking for other work.
I mean, we already know that they're giving him more projects.
Committed to a number of projects coming up. So either Sony is loading him up really heavy, or the writing is on the wall here. So you knew 2 was a guarantee because they spent all the money building all that shit, and they'd already filmed most of season 2. Season 3,
we're gonna get a 3.
Watch it.
I think we're gonna get a 3 just purely based on looking at the way Amazon runs things. Amazon is looking to bulk up the content offering on their channel. And it seems like season 3, either season 1, season 3 seems to be like the drop dead point for most shows. Like they either get their sort of like pilot sort of season and then never get continued, or they get at least 3 seasons. And it seems like 3 seasons is what they give, and then they either die or they go on for 5 or 6. I don't know what you guys have seen, but that seems to be what happens.
Anyway, we should get back to the AMA, or else we're never going to get all the way down to LPK.
I just think I'm with Trip. It's an outright lie. It's Gaul. He knows it's Gaul. He just knew he couldn't say that. So, all right, moving on. Sorry, just wanted to say it.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed. All right, let's see what we got here. So fans of the book have concerns about some changes. Main seems to be about a female dragon. What's the story here? Why was this change made? If the dragon is going the same anyway, or be the same anyway, it changed the world Jordan created. How can a woman, touch Kalandor, be trained in the tower, all that kind of stuff? And he basically says that in this world that they're making, nobody trusts the prophecies. It's all unreliable narrator and all that other stuff. Honestly,
this is so stupid. This is retardation on stilts, because the thing about prophecies is not, we can't trust that or this or what. The whole thing about prophecies is that they're cryptic, right? They are going to be 100% true, and this is a fantasy trope, but it's so good how Robert Jordan does all these, in that all these prophecies are kind of listed off, but you have no clue on how they're going to actually be fulfilled.
Well, it's like
and
Min's
it's only
whole
after
character.
It's like
Min's whole character.
After the fact.
Yeah, it's Min's whole character. That's why she's interesting. She sees all these things. She knows they're going to happen, but she has and some she can figure out, some she can't. It's like she's getting a prophecy reel in her head, right? She sees these things. Some she can interpret, some she can't. They're always going to happen. Some she knows, and some happen whenever they happen. She doesn't know what's going to happen, right? That's prophecy, right? He's just, and then on top of it, what prophecy? Prophecies of the dragon haven't been mentioned once.
There was Loyal who mentioned the sort of or the Koreathon cycle when he met Rand in the library, but it was like an Easter egg comment, like he said it, no explanation, never visited again. We haven't actually heard any of that.
But you didn't get Tom early on enough in the show, because when they're going through Barrelon, Logain marching on Tyr is a thing. It's an item, and people are buzzing about it. And Rand and some of the others, they don't understand why that is a thing. And Tom has to take them aside and explain it. Well, it's the Koreathon cycle. He's going for Kalendor. And a lot of people don't know what it is, but they say that the Stone of Tyr will not fall until the people of the dragon come. But how is the dragon supposed to have Kalendor or wield Kalendor if the stone hasn't fallen? So the way Robert Jordan kind of solves the answer, makes it together, it's like, okay, a prophecy that no one thought could be fulfilled gets fulfilled in the end. But that's the point behind prophecy. It's not that, okay, we live in a world when people don't believe in the prophecies or think they're 100% reliable. The whole point and fun angle about prophecy is people do believe in them, but they misinterpret them. And it's the misinterpretations that drives the plot. Elida's whole fucking character is basically her misinterpreting her own foretellings.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah, about the Royal Line of Andor. Yeah.
Royal Line of Andor. And then once it cleared up, she honed in on Morghese and then Elaine and Gowan and whatnot, when what the actual prophecy said is maybe she should have been focused on Tigraine, because that's where Rand comes from. A subsequent prophecy she has is about the Amyrlin basically and Aes Sedai walking the Tower grounds or the Black Tower grounds. And the rebels or whatever will know the Amyrlin's wrath.
180 in the wrong direction. Yeah,
exactly. It's a different Amyrlin. What she says is true. Her foretelling is true. She just completely misinterprets it. That's what the story does with this. And this is a shit in Robert Jordan's mouth. That's what this is.
Well, his first line
would you say?
I think Kevin Adams made a phenomenal point in the comments here about Rafe not understanding foreshadowing. So he's got rid of it, because if you think about it, the entire point of a prophecy is to act as a mystery and to act as the setup to a payoff. So by saying, guys, the clues that I'm giving you don't mean anything, and the setup that I'm providing you doesn't mean anything, you've already sacrificed your eventual payoff. Like, how are you a professional writer? What do you guys like?
Yeah, compare that, Alex. I think you highlighted this in our rewatch, right? The placement of the statue and Moraine's dagger was a reshoot in episode 1. So like even the foreshadowing that Rafe allegedly accomplished in this first season wasn't even foreshadowing. It was I don't know, backshadowing, past shadowing.
It's a good point about the mysteries, Alex. Right, the mystery, they sacrifice good mysteries to do their Who is the Dragon mystery. But anyway, let's go to the next question, because this one. Wait. Oh, okay, sorry, Trip. Go ahead.
You know what was most offensive about his answer to me was where he says, I think it feels a little bit more true to the world. Who the hell is he to decide what's more true to the world when he's got how many thousands of words to go by? Just way too arrogant.
Say it with me. The arrogance.
Arrogance.
Well, his first line is just the fact that a woman could be the dragon. No, that's not a fact. You're just making that up. It's like no, you're wrong.
The change we made was not just with the fact that a woman could be the dragon. So he's admitting that that's a change that they could make. Because remember, this is still episode 3, and we're going to get into that fucking 5-headed dragon Highlander nonsense.
It's going to appear again. Mark it down. Calling it now. The 5-headed dragon is not going away.
Nope.
It'll be back. It's going to be a Highlander thing. They're going to kill off Matt, and fucking Nynaeve is going to absorb his power in a quickening scene.
Why not?
She doesn't need his power, Dave. She already has all the power of the sun.
Touche.
Super Saiyan Nynaeve, we're about to see it. Prophet, are you ready?
I'm ready, man. I don't know that I'm ready, but I'm ready. Yeah, Super Saiyan Nynaeve.
Let's go to the next question.
Oof. This is total deflection right here.
Good to see you in the comment section, Zach. Thanks for coming out. And yeah, let's look at this. The Brando says, what do you guys feel about this? I think that there's some disingenuous in the answers here. I think that Brandon was just too polite to say, what the fuck are you doing to this story?
I think there's many levels of Sanderson's responses to this. One is that. Two is he's looking to get all of his stuff made, and he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to ruin his chances by talking ill about something that he's been a part of, right? Because whether he's been listened to or not, he's a part of this, right? And as you can see from some of his answers, as the mood starts to turn, he starts backing away quite a bit and saying the opposite of this, which is, well, I didn't disagree with this, I disagree with that. But, what he did was fine, right? And it's just like, what? Well, so, and
Kindle book sales are important too, right?
It seems to have worked because he himself in his latest AMA said that Hollywood came calling this year. So,
well, he also has revealed that he was only consulted on the first 3 episodes, right? Those are the only scripts that they even sent to him.
6.
The first 6?
I think he read the first 6, but Pips, what you're saying kind of sounds a bit right, that he was kind of giving early notes. But the key point in this whole question and answer is in the answer where he says, I'll be dead honest when I say that I do more of his notes percentage-wise than any other single human being involved with the show, which basically means he listened to maybe 1% of Brandon Sanderson's notes and exactly 0% of everybody else.
Yeah, but I
especially his lore expert.
Oh, fuck. Oh, her lore,
do you think
lore
that
expert didn't, she didn't give anything.
All right, you guys chat for a bit. I need more alcohol. I'll be back.
What do you guys think about pairing the Bear Brothers? Should he be on with it? Should he have pulled the trigger? Honestly, I feel like if he had just decided to lore break that hard that early, I don't know, it would have been better. At least mask off,
Right. I think this is so funny because Sanderson has said, yeah, they sent me the script. I read it. I redline it a little bit. I sent it back. But that was really kind of as much as I was involved with this. And here he's like, oh, yeah, Brandon was involved in everything. Brandon was a great contributor to this. Like, when Sanderson is saying, no, I wasn't, I mean, I'm just going to be honest, guys. If I have to believe somebody between Judkins and Sanderson, it's Sanderson 395 days a year. Like, no question.
Well, I think we're all aware
30 extra days,
an
Alex.
excellent brown noser Rafe is. And I phrased that very nicely for me.
You're saying if you turned left too far, he'd break his nose off?
Anyone interested in when Tripp is saying it less politely? I think her first outing with us on the rewatch, she had a particularly impolite expressing her feelings
towards the end, and someone bookmarked that in the comments, so you can go right to it. Actually. Anyways, should we go to the next question?
Yeah. What do we feel about the characters singing? Huh? What do you guys think about
hire
Luther
fucking actor
and the
that
man
can sing?
Who can't forget?
Hire actors
shove
that
a
can
pencil
sing.
in my ear.
The idea was poorly executed. I mean, and the song was weird, and they could have done something more interesting than looking at them on horses, and it was just bad. It was just all bad. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because what they had to establish with the show was that these idiot kids knew this song well enough to basically sing in rounds, right, as an ensemble thing, and cycle through the harmonies and whatnot. But they had no idea what it meant. And they even, what was the fucking line from Matt? We have no idea what this guy is or who this is. And anyway, they misinterpreted it completely because although they knew enough to remember the song and learn the song, they didn't understand the story behind it.
Yeah, it was pretty silly. And just think about the sort of direction for a screenwriter who's thinking, man, we had this great scene with Moraine and the angry townsfolk and all this kind of stuff, and she's shooting fireballs out of the end of her staff to kind of get their attention. And she gives this whole speech,
and she changes their minds. She changes their minds. She is persuasive. She is shown as intelligent and persuasive, and she shames men for crying out loud. She shames a number of men into basically being like, well, my son is standing, or he's got a healed leg because of you, and I, for one, am ashamed to be here. And then the guy wanders off. And he's just like, power moment to Moraine. And they decide to do a shitty song instead. And he fought to include that song. But
what do you guys think? I know, Prophet, you've done some Bollywood videos here recently. What do you think? The Wheel of Time, the musical, get some sweet dance numbers. Is this the way forward?
Dude, wait a second. So if we got an RRR version of Wheel of Time, I'd be okay with that. I truly would, as long as there were some story elements and there was just some bro downs. I'd be okay with that. The three bros getting down. It would have to be better. Anything made Wheel of Time at this point has to be better than this show. I don't think there's anywhere to go down. The show is a 0. I mean, it really is.
Well, and we haven't talked about Tom.
We haven't even seen Dominatrix Avienda yet.
I'm ready for it, brother. Like, I have the voice already. We need more scripts.
I don't know if anyone's ready for that.
I'm ready for it.
Your voice acting was so good.
All right, couple.
Now, Vendel's making a good point. How can the angry mob show up in the show in front of the Wine Spring Inn, scrawling the fucking Dragon's Fang on the door when the inn itself has already been destroyed?
It would have been hard
killing the troll.
It would have been hard for. Yeah, good point. It would have been hard for her to even get them to go away. How do you get the townsfolk to go away when it's like, yeah, sorry for basically destroying the village, but I'm really a good person.
But before we move on from this response, I just want to ask you guys, song and recited poetry played such a big part in the books. Did it?
If you consider the prophecies poems.
No, I don't. What I consider is like
the
land reciting poetry at the end of the Eye of the World, and then
if you think about
other characters remarking about it. But
the Gleeman, if you think about the Gleeman, the Gleeman are basically telling stories across the world in song form and acting it out.
True enough, but within the books, you don't get like long passages and high chant. So all I'm saying is, Wheel of Time, when you read it, relative to something like Lord of the Rings, or even a Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, it's actually quite light on the inclusion of music and poetry. Like Jack of the Shadows is arguably the longest actual song that's original.
How easy is that to? I mean, you have to sort of like. I almost picture every Gleeman's Tale to be some sort of acted out, history book lesson.
Oh, got some food.
So what do you guys think? I would kind of agree with what Zane's saying, that there's not necessarily a whole lot of poems and songs that we actually see that really get spelled out sort of line and verse, but like songs and music and poetry, I think, does play a large part in the story with a whole lot of stuff from Tom, but also Play for Your Supper, sort of, like a lot of really important sort of scenes and sort of plot arcs do have music as something that inspires them. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, and in the section.
Go ahead, Trip, your turn.
For me, especially in this section, we don't get to see where Matt and Rand are traveling, and having to play for their supper in the various places and entertain. So even though it might not be specifically recited in the books, I always, in my head, kind of imagine what they're doing. And the same thing with Tom. There are some specific examples of the songs that he sings, but just in my imagination all the way through that, I'm picturing that. So for me, yes, it did play a very big part in the books.
And OBG brings up a good point. The Loyal, Song of Growing, Tree Singing, the Tinkerers are all looking for the song. I get what Dane's saying, but I think we got to sort of interpret some of it, and it's not just out there.
Yeah,
I'll take a stab at this. because I think Trip hit it pretty close. So if you are in charge of putting together a script, and you know that you have to have a large passage of time happen with movement, we have something for this. It's called a montage. Typically and very popular, it's called a musical montage.
Even Rocky had a montage.
In every episode. How did we not have a montage? You could have done it in 4 minutes of them. They start off singing in one in. You know, that you get a shot of Matt's face, you know, singing. The next shot is in a clearly different in. And you keep the song going, and that is the way that you space out, you know, and you communicate the distance traveled rather than 1 month later. Like basic shit. And they just fumbled it. I don't understand.
Well, then we wouldn't have had 4 minutes of Dana chasing them through the streets, you know, with a sword, or however long that was.
Or the 2-minute Fish concert with the Tinkers. Talk about song and being like fun ways to weave it in. I saw some comments about the Tinkers all know about the song, the Loyal, that's well taken, although we don't get the actual lyrics kind of in the books. So there is a musical element, but they went out of their way to not do the music, it seems. Aside from one shitty Tom song, and then the history of Manetheren turning into harmonies, but whatever.
I am Bendel. Appreciate that you got my reference there to Team America World Police. But we're moving on. What do we got here? The range of emotions of Perrin. What do you guys think about Perrin's range of emotion?
Oh my God! Special nose acting coach for what? For what?
Perrin's acting. What did I miss?
Apparently, he does have a nose acting coach. He doesn't.
I mean,
it's Matt that has all the fucking sniffs in the show. If you haven't noticed,
a nose acting coach. What the hell are we talking about here? What did I miss?
So apparently, Perrin, because he's a wolf brother.
What?
Perrin is a wolf brother, right? So
werewolf, right?
Spoiler,
werewolf?
Dane.
Twilight in
werewolf?
This fucking show.
I hear werewolf.
Something.
Yeah, I know he's gonna be a werewolf, right? Hulk out. Gotcha. Sniffing.
But it's like, if he has a nose coach, why the fuck didn't they get him a mouth coach who can tell him to close it once in a while?
I was going to say he needs an acting coach. That much we can agree
on.
Well,
now we know where the money went. The nose
coaches.
The nose coaches.
Too much coke went up there.
Exactly.
He doesn't sniff at all.
It's like, why do all of your actors have deviated septums?
The coca plant.
Right. I mean, they actually do have dedicated face coach, or like dedicated acting face coaches. Like that is an actual thing. Why fire yours? Close Perrin's mouth.
Honestly, the show would be better if someone's hand just sort of came in from off camera and sort of just went like this.
That's how the show will end, hopefully. Flicker.
Okay. What do you guys got about episode 4? I know Dane, we've talked a lot about episode 4. We're in episode 4 in the rewatch. Prophet is actually gonna be bringing us home on episode 4 here this weekend.
Yep.
What do you guys think? What do you think?
There's a lot coming Friday. Personally, for me, I think it's just amazing to see the Aes Sedai actually coming to life on screen. Leandrin and Alana are going to blow your minds. No, they're not. And don't get me started on the Warders.
Alana's going to blow something.
Don't get me fucking started on the Warders. Oh, good.
Too late.
It's so bad.
Man. I got 3 words. Daisy chain airtight. Go watch the rewatch.
Oh God.
Under promise, over deliver. Don't do the opposite.
Yeah, this whole show is really doing the opposite, don't you think?
Dude, Alana blows the hell out of those leaves, though, doesn't she?
Hey, those rocks pop up.
Is Leaves code? Because like I said, she's blowing something.
Leaves. So bad.
Well, some of the warders do have green cloaks, don't they?
Golf ball and a garden hose. All right, moving on.
Oh, that's a marine reference, isn't it? Okay.
All right, what do we got? So an article about how much he fought to keep the Weep for Manetheren scene in.
They should have cut
What
it.
What other scenes does he think are equally sort of weighty? And he says there's a Nynaeve and Lan scene that I fought literally every human being on the show and at the network. So I hope the fans like it. All right, let's go around the horn.
I know what this is.
Let's go around the horn. Which scene? Which scene it is? Alex, which scene?
See, I was going to say it was definitely them banging, but he mentions book fans specifically. And I can't tell if that's him being a sarcastic dickhead or like almost mocking book fans with it, or if like he's specifically referring to an actual scene that happened in the books. But I'm struggling to remember which of the significant Lan Nynaeve scenes that were in the show were like significant scenes in the book is my issue.
Well, we know it's not in the first 3 episodes because of the timing of the AMA. So pick one. What do you got?
For lack of a better option, I'm going to go with them banging. Like,
all right, Trip.
Well, I don't necessarily think the first 3 are left out because he just says, "I hope book fans like it." So
I think he would have mentioned the scene if it had seen it.
Maybe, I don't know, because just like Alex, I'm racking my brain for what the heck was actually in the book. And the only thing I can come up with kind of is where she tracks them and she sneaks up on them.
Okay.
You know,
Yep.
That's the only thing I can come up with.
Nynaeve, the master tracker. I think Kevin agrees with Alex so far. Dane, what about you?
Actually, can I be more specific in my answer? Because I think
no, because I was going to take you to task for it. But go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say I'm going to change my answer to when Lan gives Nynaeve the "I will forever hate the man who marries you, but I will
love him if he makes you smile."
Yeah, I think Kevin Adams is right. I think that's the answer.
All right, so OBG's on board with Trip. Kevin agreed with Alex's first comment. Dane, are you also going with the?
I'm 100%, and this is why. So it is a scene from the books where Lan says, "I will hate the man you marry, but love him if he makes you smile," kind of thing. And the reason why why Ragnar had to fight tooth and nail, literally every human being on the show and in the network for that scene, is because every single one of them knew it now happened after Lan got to fucking ramrod Nynaeve, raw dog her for the whole fucking night. And it is a hit it and quit it situation, as opposed to what is arguably a romantic, courtly love, honorable thing that Lan does in the books, right? He already plowed Nynaeve. What?
Yeah, what's the difference?
Everyone's seeing this and being like, "Are you really gonna do this, Ragnar? He just fucked her, and now he's dumping her and giving her some bullshit poetry. This is not going to land." And then Ragnar being like, "This is right from the books." It's like, you changed the context of the books, and no, we fucking hate it. We book fans fucking hate what you did. We would have liked it if you
giving the production team way too much credit here. They didn't object to it on the basis that it
object to that scene.
Exactly.
They
didn't object to that scene. Steve,
it made no fucking sense. Like,
I don't. There's not enough scenes that are meaningful at all. I mean, like I think it has to be that one, doesn't it? I mean, because it just like I think Dane's hit it on the head. I mean, there's only one other one I can think of, but I just want to say this. I think Dane's hit something on the head here because it's like. It's Rafe going, "See, I read the books." That's a quote from the books, guys, right? Look, I told you I read the book, so here's a quote. Even though it makes no sense saying where he says it, because you've already done the deed, right? But there is now my immediate thought was because we were just talking about episode 4, and they have that little chat about her mother and stuff up on the hill in episode 4 with Lan, and they're like having their little convo before, whatever happens before Super Saiyan Nynaeve comes out, right?
Yeah,
so
the
that
old
could be it, but I think it's more likely the so I think it's probably, it could be that, but I think it's probably more likely the scene after the consummation.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say, I guess I'm going out on my own here. I feel like it is the land teleport and the weird sort of multicultural soup sharing in Shinar. I think that's the scene.
Ooh.
But the question here
having
is
the
about
dinner with.
But the question is about including a scene from the books. So Weep for Manetheren that is actually like there are long pieces of dialogue moved in.
The question was.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say, I don't think that's the question. That the question is saying, are there any other scenes with a similar weight or significance that you fought for? And I think that he's looking at that saying, this is the scene that establishes their love, and they're so, they're special. And she's looking through the window and seeing a very touching sort of exposed, vulnerable Lan. And I hope the book readers really, really like how I'm setting up the two of them as so real and emotionally available and all this other stuff. I think that's probably, I think he loves it. I think that's
and honestly, he could that could be his interpretation of, because he's in there with another Malkyr family, right? So that shows his, how much the Malkyr people love him and all that stuff. So
how
he could
diverse
think that
they
scene,
were in Malkyr.
He could think that scene is replacing Agomar giving, the boys and I forget who else listening, basically an idea why Lan is so revered in Shinar because of his past, right? So that could be in his warped sense of things. Oh well, you see, this Malkyr guy loves Lan, so he's a good dude, right? Instead of Agomar telling everybody why he's so loved.
Yeah, no, Trip, go.
We could actually be reading the answer wrong. So where he's saying, so I hope book fans like it, what he really could be saying there is, it's a scene that's actually really not from the books. So I'm hoping the book fans like it, which means
exactly.
It could also be the tell. She's got to explain to Lan.
No one fought him over the tell.
No one fought him over. They all fought him about why is Lan pumping and dumping? Why he just fucking railed her the night before, and now. Anyway,
can we skip this one, because I don't even want to look at it.
we went this into depth.
I don't even want to look at it. Like, fuck you. I'm sorry, but we're like, what an asshole. Sorry. Go ahead.
You question Moraine's eyes, and unless your eyes and ears network are filled with Aes Sedai with the talent to see Ta'Veren, then it makes no fucking sense. But yeah, let's move on, because
here's a great comment here.
It is literally, hey asshole, don't question my throwaway line. I know my throwaway line doesn't make any sense.
Her eyes and ears can't even figure out they're all in Tar Valon. Like they're all in Tar Valon, and I have people watching. She didn't even know they were there. So great job. Sorry, moving on. My bad.
Ann Richards here, I think, making a great comment. We've talked about this in the rewatch. I know it's been talked about elsewhere. The Alex wants to fight another YouTuber over the conversation about whether or not Randland a matriarchy versus a patriarchy. But I think good comment there. Bookland would have never shamed Nynaeve or himself, to be honest, the way that he did. Okay, so let's look at this shill who's just really loving everything that Rafe is doing here. Loves the AMA, and hey, assuming we won't see that content in the future, being sort of Two Rivers, more stuff in the Two Rivers here. Are there any plans to release some of that footage? And he's like, oh yeah, deleted scenes headed your way, Steve.
Wait a second. Wait.
No, these deleted. This is. I think what he's hinting at here.
Let's see more.
How are we feeling about those deleted scenes?
Well, 0 for 1. Let's see what next, right? I mean, but guaranteed the next one's going to have more Egwene in it, or Moraine, right?
Well, we already know
that it's going to be the
next.
So I think what he's hinting at here is the. No, I think what he's hinting at here is the Rand dragging Tam through the night, so part of the dragon reveal, because Ragnar here is saying in the coming weeks, and this is 8 months ago. So it was 8 months, and then we get the Egwene Poole scene. So yeah, it's a flippant comment.
That's assuming that he didn't pitch to Amazon, hey, can we release this? And they didn't say, Judkins, shut the fuck up, we're working on Wings of Power.
Yeah, I think this could easily be an overpromise, underdeliver there, Alex, for sure.
True enough.
Yeah, but his nipples were pretty revered. Yes,
they were certainly pretty exposed.
Yes.
Am I the only one that thinks that this answer in and of itself is kind of fucked up? Why would a fat balding ginger play a maiden of the spear?
I actually think that this is like a really revealing answer from old Rafe Judkins here.
Wait a second.
Exactly.
Of all people, if you had to play a role of any smaller, minor Wheel of Time character, he couldn't even pick out a character. Say Bane.
That's what I love. That's what I love. He can't name one.
Just say Bane. Like I want to be Bane. It's like I want to be Avienda. I mean, like,
but
say
why?
one.
Pretty
he's
soon
a dude.
He
what the fuck is this?
Identifies as a maiden of the spear is what should be on his Twitter handle or whatever.
I mean, look at him, Trip. I mean, come on. He sort of is a little, obviously, right? But
I was waiting for the comments on this. Come on, you guys. You're so much worse in other places.
But
you're letting me down.
He'd be the fattest, most bearded maiden ever. He would get yeeted.
Look, the fact that he relates with a female is whatever, right? I know it seems silly with all the, but the fact that he could not pick a single maiden of the spear or a single Aiel to say, I want to be that character. I'm pretty sure every single one of us could pick a character out and be like, I'd be that person.
Dane Bornhold.
Well, really? Yeah.
That's a shocker. You guys are upset about that. I'm upset about a 50-year-old man using the word yeeted unironically.
I don't think he's 50. I think he's almost 40.
It's disrespectful to all those women.
I just want to point out how, if you think about this comment, doesn't this undermine the entire sort of quest for diversity and representation in Hollywood? If he's able to imagine a Maiden of the Spear on the screen as representing himself, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. The correct answer there is Logain. I'm just saying. All right, let's go.
I'm surprised that you didn't say Mesima.
No, I don't like. He's just my alter ego. Come on, that's not me. Come on, Logain. Like, if I could choose one lesser, like I shouldn't say lesser, but sort of secondary character. Dude,
can't name a character. It's not like there aren't 2,000 fucking minor characters named in this series, but.
Well,
can't
Pip,
name one.
Don't offer me a good time.
Pips, here's a perfect chance to poll the panel, even though I don't know what my answer would be.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh God.
And that's classic.
I'm sorry, Trip. I'm so sorry.
Let's go to the next one because this is
Trip. You can say your thing.
No, I was just going to say, although I think most of our avatars or names kind of represented, it's poll the panel. What minor character would you be? Well, Dane's not really a minor character, so
I'm a point of view character. Like
twice. I guess Pips wins because although he'd probably argue that Pips is not a minor character.
He's a gelding though in the series.
Whoa. First of all, don't question my gender or sexuality. I get to define for myself. Thank you very much.
Wait a second. What is it?
My pronouns are horse, and horse self.
We're talking about our avatars. What does Alex Green do in Wheel of Time?
Alex
he runs the football.
Internet identity from a decade ago. I don't know. A Wheel of Time character that I really liked. Like, people are gonna laugh at this, but I really liked Madame Elvire in the Shadow Rising. Like, she's just hustling people along. Like, okay, you got to meet you. We need to get you hooked up here. Madame Elvira ran that book. Thank God she was there. Everybody would have died.
Bail Domon,
That's a
a good answer.
Bail Domon's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Next question in the AMA.
Loving on the Tuathon. That's what we got here. Will we ever get to see Varen? He says, you will. I swear it until the last hour of my life. I think that means he's going to get murdered before cancellation because we are never going to. We're not making
Varen's going to be next season, isn't it?
He's trying to allude to Varen and her ending kind of in.
Yeah, we're not seeing the ending of her arc for sure.
No, but the response doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I swear you will until the last hour of my life. Can that please be today? I don't know.
All right. Rationale behind not having a cold open. So basically, why did we not have the prologue? And he says we shouldn't really see this cold open until Lews Therin was ready to play a more significant role in the show.
He didn't play any role in the show.
That's what I would say. That if that's the point, why did we see it in season 1? I don't know. Dane is covering his face because Dane and I did a video on the importance of the prologue to establishing the Eye of the World and the series as a whole.
We still didn't see the prologue. It's like this answer. It's like you didn't even move it. You just didn't do it.
What? Why would you wait for Rand to start hearing Lews Therin in his head? And then kind of because that's what he's saying. I was like, well, maybe we could show that prologue like after Rand's beginning to go nuts because it would be too jarring for a television audience to have to wait 4 or 5 seasons for Lews Therin to come back. Like, why? Like, his answer is nonsensical. It doesn't make any sense.
Do you think they're
he didn't have a lot of versions of how to start the show. He had a fucking placenta gross birth with a blind chick, Guitar Moroso, and the studio told him to change it because it was too disgusting. And then he came up with the arrogance. That's all that they did. And then they didn't bounce around a lot of two. The first one was so stupid.
Judkins. Dude, sorry. I'm sorry, Dan.
How fucking difficult was it to use that as your exposition dump? Like, any fucking idiot could have used that to explain the magic system. Like,
do you think they're going to try and dump that in somewhere, some warped version of it in the next season?
No. It would be. I gotta pull this comment up. Kevin, yes, it would be colossally stupid.
The last dragon reborn, yeah. The last.
Actually,
dragon.
I will say, if this makes it to a season 3, I would bet money on that being the very first scene in the 3rd season. As a, hey, fan base, look, we know we blew it. You like this? Take this. Stop yelling at me.
Just a final shield against the hate.
We'll just be like, okay, we had to change directions 180 degrees. Amazon won't stop yelling at me to fix this. Completely swerve and just try and throw all the fan service in. That's how I think it could end up coming if it makes a season 3.
Man, if that's the case, what do you guys think? I feel like that would be a huge mistake because I think at that point, by season 3, like season 2, they could maybe sell that to the fans, right? By season 3, if you've had 2 seasons already shitting on the books, no fans are coming back to watch season 3. And the people who watched season 1 and 2 and made it through that at that point, there's no damn way they're going to look at they're not going to want that turd. They're going to be the people who are happy with the ridiculous crap that we're getting. Nothing. Nobody disagrees.
It's true. No, it's true. I mean, it's I don't know, and us, because we're just trying to keep calling it out. I mean, it's yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. So let's see. They miscast Lews Therin Telamon so badly. I cannot be in any way satisfied with the prologue at this point. I feel like I feel like we saw so little of him, and the direction that he was getting was so terrible, in terms of like what he should have been doing, what he should have been acting, what the script should have had him do, that it's hard for me to really attribute whether or not it's the actor or the setting.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily have a lot of problems with the actor, but he was not given anything good to work with. There was nothing respectable in that scene.
Could you fucking imagine at this point Wayne Yip directing the prologue, like the actual book prologue, and how awful that would be?
Well, and the comment you just made, Pips, doesn't that apply to pretty much the entire show? That maybe some of these actors are actually talented, but they're just given a shit script and directing to work with?
Oh, it's very possible. I mean, you can't rule it out. It's hard. It's hard. They pick so many junior actors, which a lot of these shows do, and it's understandable to it. But it's hard to really say much about them as actors given what they're given to work with. In fact, there's no back catalog to go watch, right? Like you can't go see that actor in something else and be like, see, they're so talented, and here they are giving shit. So I don't know. I mean, are you guys familiar with any of these actors in any other works?
No, except for Rosamund Pike. But I mean, in Steppen, the guy that the guy that played Steppen, thank God he was in it. I think he was in Vikings a little bit, but he's a good actor. Steppen's terrible and should have never existed.
My thing with Marcus Rutherford, who plays Perrin, is I don't care how bad of an actor he might be. It is inarguable that the directing is just murdering him. And
Stop standing so tall. You need to slouch here, otherwise it well enough.
Right, slouch and keep your mouth open.
Yeah.
What?
And
What
you
the fuck?
He knows. Get that sniffer going.
Yeah, and I mean, Barney Harris is actually I forget what the show he was in, but he had a mental breakdown on a different show. But he was liked in that show as well by that fan base. So I don't think Barney Harris is a bad actor either. So the writing
they had to work with
garbage too.
Right. Yeah. So let's
OBG. Good point about the other shows. I think OBG was it your channel that did sort of a chill stream looking at Shannara Chronicles. That was pretty decent. I think it was on your channel. You might have just been guesting on it though. Anyone who hasn't seen it, go check it out. And I don't know, Rafe really wants to finish the show, is what he's saying here. That's what he's looking forward to the most.
So is he saying the ending because he wants to be over and done with this thing, or is he like legitimately thinking the last battle is kind of like the most epic, and he kind of wants to get? I think he wants to quit it, but anyways.
I think he really thinks that he's the guy to bring home the last battle. I think that's what he thinks. He thinks he's the person to bring it home.
All right, now we get into a good horse watch question for you, Pips.
Hell yeah!
So what do you think of this?
All right, thank you so much for including the Bella name drop in episode 2, because we know Easter eggs is really all he's given the fans. As a proper fanboy, will you be keeping her entire arc in place as the creator's avatar on Randland? And his thing here, literally everyone in the horse department knows everything about Bella. There are many elderly Czech men who have Bella's long-term arc in the show. I don't even know what the Wheel of Time is. So this is a twofer here.
I'm calling bullshit
Horse
right
watch
now
for me, and Czech watch for old Dane.
True enough. Fuck the Czechs. We've established that. It's a Dutch line. It's not a Czech line. But here's what. So 3 episodes would have dropped to this right now when this question's asked, right? Where the fuck is Bella at the end of episode 3?
No idea. Dead, I think.
Ran off. Like one horse turned into fucking ash and the others ran off. But where's Bella in the books? Bella is with Egwene and Perrin,
right? Yeah.
And Perrin and Egwene are horseless. They're Bella-less in the show. Bella is missing. There's nobody in this show that knows where Bella is at this point. And more to the point, got Bella back, they would have smacked her ass and had her run away when they got to the Waygate. right? Because they all rode up to the Waygate on different horses, although probably the same horses because they only have like 8 horses on the show. But they got rid of all of them again. So this is a bald-faced lie. He does not have a horse department keeping track of Bella's whole arc in the show. And this questioner, you already fucking know, Lenny and Carl. Yeah, Bella, you got a name drop, but you already know by the time you're asking this, because you saw episode 3, Bella is fucking gone. She's not coming back.
Can we skip
this question? The thing that drives me the most crazy about this question is Bella is described as a shaggy mare. There is not one shaggy mare in the show, not even close. Like, how is anybody happy about the representation of Bella? Like,
Bella's got a dick, and that was kind of the point of my horse meme too.
Oh man,
and
Richards with the fire right here.
and is correct.
And
even though
based as fuck over here.
Book Bella was done dirty at the last battle. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think you know this, Dane. Doesn't one of the appendixes establish that Bella lived?
I'm pretty sure not, because I'm pretty sure it's fairly clear that Bella got hacked to shit when
there's something
when she rescued Oliver.
Shot and she got taken down. But I believe it's in the big white book. It is established that Bella lived.
Not the big white book, because the big white book came out after A Crown of Swords. It might be in the companion, but I haven't looked on that on Bella.
The companion.
Yeah, okay.
Dan, I'm going to assign that as homework to you, because I believe it's in there.
I want to say there's a fan theory, and I think it's an interpretation of what's in the books. It's not clearly established that Bella might have been one of the horses that came back when the horn was sounded at the last battle. So there's a Bella as a hero of the horn sort of theory,
which honestly would be even better. But.
Oh, that would be excellent, and maybe she would get to be my horse.
There you go. All right, Prophet. Steve, I know you wanted to skip this, but that just means that it's going to be painful for you. And we here at the Whitecloaks are all about embracing pain. We're, the Whitecloaks, they've picked up a lesson from the Aiel. You have to embrace the pain.
Alcohol helps.
So the show is exceeding my wildest dreams. The person needs help. And so is Moraine specifically. Please use this to gush about how incredible Rosamund Pike is. And then he does. He gushes all over. Everything's all wet. It's all there.
Okay, Alex, I just looked at my companion here. Okay. This has got to be fucking terrible. So she was thought to be dead, but unaccountably survived. In the first years of the Fourth Age, she gave birth to a strong colt and a splendid filly, and retired to green pastures in the Two Rivers. Okay, so they did a fan service thing here because people thought that Bella was done dirty in this one. But I'm pretty damn sure that in the last battle, Bella dies.
It says she's shot and killed in the last battle, so they retconned that.
I didn't think
that's disappointing.
I thought it established she got shot and went down. Yeah. I don't think it ever, but we're getting off topic here.
We're deep down the rabbit hole. Let's see here. Are you including Multiple Forsaken in the series?
Nope.
Yes, he is apparently. So that's good.
Not any Forsaken we've ever seen, but
in doll format that Stefan worships for some fucking reason.
Before he kills himself. Two does count as multiple, We
know Lanfear's in there, and we haven't established that episode 8 is anything other than the Dark One. So who knows? Yeah,
that's true too.
Does he have a favorite character? And has that arc begun in the show? And spoilers, shocker to everyone, I am sure. Egwene, favorite character, Egwene. I think everyone knows that by now. The runtime of characters bears that out. I think actually in the rewatch we've mostly come out on the side that Egwene or Moraine, one of the two, is definitely the main character in terms of how the show's going, right?
Oh yeah, they're the main characters. 100%.
Pips, did you skip by the Sarah Nakamura answer?
He didn't have an answer. Oh, never mind. There was one. Okay. Yep. Somebody deleted their account, but they asked this question here.
Yeah. This is an incredible one, right? I have Sarah Nakamura, our incredible Wheel of Time goddess, to talk me through the long-term ramifications of any changes so that we know what's going to happen. And then this, where he's just acting like a sadist. Sometimes to drive her crazy, I'll send her a casual email that's like, hey, can you work up a long-term ramification list if we kill Tom? And just keep going like it's a normal day, and then she collapses as a human being. The fuck is this?
What were the long-term ramifications of making Patton Fane's dagger worthless?
Maybe
they're not talking about any of that shit.
No, but in the benefit of hindsight, maybe he did that like 5 times to Sarah Nakamura, and then she just basically mailed it in for the rest of her fucking work. Like, okay, this is how it's going to be. All right, yeah, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. I'll sign off on all of it, because she realized she was being toyed with, and then just decided to basically take her revenge and do nothing.
It's possible that she tried. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I don't believe it, but it's possible that she said, no, don't do that. And he's like, no.
No, but, I think it's abundantly clear that he went lore expert shopping until he found the one that agreed with him.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah,
and
we know from her tweets.
The people who like this on Tumblr and Pinterest are entirely different than the people who like the books themselves. And he went and found a Tumblrette to be his lore expert. That's how it happened.
And he still decides to torture her.
Tweets. We know that she was on board with the changes. That she loved the way that the direction they went with it. So I think it's disingenuous to try and say that that he was not listening to her advice. She was giving any advice other than everything's great.
Yeah, you're right. Fair enough.
My question about that answer is, did he tell on himself there? With how much Tom was reduced in the first season, do you think he actually
wanted to kill Tom?
What would happen?
Yeah, I do.
What would happen if we killed Tom, or what would happen if we didn't have Tom?
I mean, maybe Tom is dead.
I think in our rewatch of episode 4, I think we talked about that. That like, do you guys think that we're going to see Tom again? I mean, imagine just the non sequitur that it'll be if Tom shows up in the sort of the Kyrian sort of plot line with Rand, which Rand's not going to be in the Kyrian
Rand
plot
goes
line.
to Kyrian, right?
That's not going to happen. I'm just saying, if it runs into Tom again, he's going to be like, oh yeah, that guy that I knew for approximately 8 hours. Like, what's up?
Well, and if they don't bring Tom back, then they avoid any kind of conflict with Moraine and Schwan,
Oh yeah, that's another reason that Tom's not going to come back, because they can't have Tom there. Because I mean, honestly, what does late book Tom really do outside of rescuing Moraine and
which they might not even do
sort of relationship with Elaine?
Moraine has to be at Dumai's Wells to make all the bad Aes Sedai kneel to her.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, they've really plotted through all the ramifications.
They're misunderstood and misled Aes Sedai.
All right, all I'm going to say for this question:
evil things that had to. They did the right thing capturing Rand. They were a little overzealous. Moraine had to correct them. Is how it'll be.
All right.
All I'm going to say for this next comment is fuck you.
Fuck you. That's the answer. Moving on.
Like,
fuck you.
No,
you didn't. Actually, no, you didn't. And fuck you.
I want to give a quick shout out to Sneed, because he actually picked up on this. Because he was actually saying, where he clued in, because what Ragnar is basically saying is they did film the Night Through the Woods, and was hinting that it was going to come back, probably as part of the dragon reveal in a flashback or something. But it ultimately means that Rand has basically been moping around this whole season, knowing that Tam wasn't his father, and just never reacted to it. Oh wait, I know that I wasn't born.
That makes it even worse. Yep. I didn't even think about that, to be honest, but yeah, that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Big brain Sneed.
What a bizarre writing choice, in the sense of our characters. You see the story through the eyes of our characters. one of our characters has a tremendously important piece of information that would, of course, be seen if we were providing sort of the natural, significant events of the show. And we're just going to not show it. Like,
it's worse, Alex. You go and reread The Eye of the World, and the amount of times that Rand has to insist in his inner monologue that Tam is his father, it's the central part of his character.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean,
he's going through an identity crisis in the first couple of books, right? That is Rand's arc. It's an identity crisis story, and
100%.
they did the whole thing, like the March Through the Woods. You see it kind of in the episode 7 where they did the dragon reveal, but in order to maintain this asinine mystery, they had to basically have Rand act like it never happened for 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's completely ridiculous.
That's what I mean.
Just to move on here.
It would be like a Sherlock Holmes story if, as Sherlock Holmes is explaining exactly what's happening, at the very end, he's like, oh, and by the way, off screen, I found the most important clue in the story, and I just didn't tell you. You fucking morons who didn't get the conclusion. Like,
yes.
Who writes like this?
The problem with the mystery that gives you all the information, or the mystery that hides the information and then reveals it later, like, oh, you're not smart enough to figure this out.
So
all right,
here's a question.
I want to move on here, though. One, Steve is with us for a limited amount of time, so we're gonna try and press. We got to get to LPK's sort of comment here, but
I gotta go in a couple minutes as well, guys. So.
I just want to pull out here. I think we talked about this in our episode 4 rewatch a little bit. He's saying that if you could only do one scene exactly the way it was in the books, which scene would you do? And he said the Raven Steading Elias sequence with Parent.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
It's like,
blowjob.
It's like, wait a second.
Like, why did he do it? He could have
you could have done it. You
Easily.
could have done that.
Not only that,
he gave us the Tinkers instead.
He fought tooth and nail. He fought tooth and nail for the Weep for Manetheren and for the I will hate the man who you marry, but love him if he makes you smile. He fought for those, but a scene that actually would have made fucking sense. He's saying, "Oh yeah, I totally do this one if I was making it."
What
Fuck
a disingenuous
you fucking liar.
answer, though.
What
like, yeah, I would have totally done this. Like, you're the showrunner. You skipped that fucking scene.
Yeah, like that's your fault. You could have done it easily. Like that's the biggest bullshit answer I've ever seen, because it's in his hands. He didn't put he sort of put them together and had her kill the freaking white guy. I mean, it's just like no. You just that's bullshit.
So the next question, I think we can go through. We can go through this next one pretty quick, because bullshit that they have an actual sword master. They probably just found a guy from the Czech Republic who LARPs.
Oh, which one?
Let's go through that, because we don't see any sword action.
His thing here about the different sword forms. So the sword
bullshit.
fighting in Wheel of Time was a fit of the series. The named sword forms, the sort of like the dancing sort of aspect of it, and brings up kind of a YouTube channel about Way of the Hare and stuff like that. But the point is, yeah, we have a actual sword master developing different sword styles.
No, you don't.
We saw the warders practice, and all that just looked.
And we also saw Land flailing his sword around in Edmund's Field. Yes, they don't have anybody. It's terrible. Like
how
they don't have
this not a gigantic red flag? You get to see a few of them named on screen as well in season 2. Like, isn't that basically telling on himself that he didn't have any sword fighting planned in this show?
None.
Yeah, and he says named on screen. He doesn't say we get to see them on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
We just get to see them named.
Land's gonna sheath his sword somewhere again. Oh, sorry.
Lan is gonna mention Cat crosses the courtyard.
Yeah,
and that's all we'll get.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Next one.
The Aiel is his favorite culture. Which
what are the odds that the Aiel wouldn't fucking run him bare ass naked back to the spine of the world if he ever showed up there?
I was just thinking, this is one more count of Judkins totally not racist. Like, so Rafe, what's your favorite culture in the Wheel of Time? Well, that would be the exclusively white people.
The gingers in the desert.
Yeah.
And, Dane's favorite phrase here, talk about self-insert.
Hey,
that's true.
He recognizes himself on screen.
As a maiden, lest you forget.
Exactly.
He's like, I just really want to be wedded to somebody's spear, preferably Maxim's.
God damn it.
Gross.
All right, Marcus Rutherford on Inside the Wheel of Time that, you're a prankster. Oh, okay, yeah, fuck off. No one wants to listen. Yeah, whatever.
Who cares? Yeah.
Dumb question. No one gives a shit.
Yeah. Level of investment per episode. We got the wig budget. The wig budget in the answer. Here we go. If anyone has been watching the rewatches or any other sort of haters stuff, and you hear us talking about big budget, this is where it came from.
Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
The next answer is pretty fucking hilarious.
Take a few less trips on an airplane there, Rafe, and your wigs are covered. Just give me a break. What an asshole. What an asshole.
Lofoten Islands. Take me to Tremalking. Do you guys know where the Lofoten Islands are?
No.
Is that where he's filming in Morocco?
No, I had to look this up. It's actually fucking Norway. These are islands kind of in the fjords, and they're like snow-capped and shit. And there's a ton of them.
That's Tremalking?
For Tremalking?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait,
the big island that's like the huge island off in the sea down to kind of the southwest.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's fucking Norway and a big chain of islands. And also, it's like, how many times do we actually go to Tremalking in the books?
We pass it, don't we?
Like once when the
pass by it and you see the Choden Call, and that's it, right?
Yeah, when the Choden Call melts and the Age of Illusions is over. That's the only actual time that anything takes place on Tremalking. The fuck is this guy talking about? The guy's on crack.
Oh my god.
Here's another one for budget where he's trying to say, it's not that big of a budget. He's trying to underplay how little they were able to do with the fucking money. I mean,
stop with the wigs.
What was the budget that was for Shannara Chronicles or Legend of the Seeker, which both ranked higher on our breakdown?
Well, look, it's just a mismanagement of funds, and that's it. I don't think there's even any. It's just, if you're talking about a wig budget, then it's just like, well, braid somebody's hair and move on. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Just,
This question about a Steve, I needed to look this up. Does anyone know who Phil Snowden is?
When did we learn to identify the below Steve, a.k.a. Phil Snowden? I don't know.
I think it was a marketing ploy because they announced this British actor Phil Snowden was appearing as Steve in the show, and then he just didn't.
I didn't know he was in the show.
He wasn't. I looked him up. He's maybe updated his resume as a thing.
Steve?
Oh, yeah. You're coming as Avienda
they had to cast as something in the original, and then they ended up completely cutting out his part. So he basically went from having a role in the show to not having one. So the question is not who Phil Snowden was; it's who was Steve. What role? Did Steve have?
I really hope Steve was a code name, but I'm not going to give him credit for that in this. He was probably a warder who suicided himself.
Yeah, it was. It's absolutely a code name. If you go through and you look at the the season 2 stuff now, they still have some of them under code names.
Okay.
So the question is, was Steve Bale Doman? Was Steve Elias? Who was Steve?
Not a whole lot here for us to break down. Vendel's asking profit or so Alex, you run our Twitter. Either one of you guys banned from the Wheel of Time Twitter account?
I can still see it. I haven't tried to post anything on there, but as far I can still see what they throw up on there. But I think I'm still good to go right now.
This comment here looks like how the proper way.
Mission Pips.
Try and get us banned.
Oh yeah, I feel
one comment you make on there, and we'll get banned just because of our name.
This is the way to kind of troll Rafe Judkins, I think, being like, "What's it like to work with the White Steel Power Ranger?" I had no idea that Zoe Robbins' only other credited work was fucking Power Rangers, but it makes a lot of sense.
I think she has other ones, but that's definitely her only like one that anyone would know. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, those are the questions that stop me from reading AMAs right there, because I don't care.
Exactly. So giving Logan an increased role, and then he's basically saying, yeah, it's really great to see it means to be a man who can channel, as it ends up being quite relevant to the story. Spoilers much there, Rafe? We're not supposed to know who the dragon is. Trying to approach, or any of the men can channel so far. We're not supposed to know that. Trying to approach these methodology things with characters as much as we can. Basically, the Logan arc is because he thinks that's the way you show a male channeler. What do you guys think?
Well, and he said mythology, trying to approach the mythology any way they can. That's the whole fucking series. What do you mean you're trying to approach it?
Well, they mess up the mythology because, they don't even involve Sidene. I mean, the whole everything's broken. Like we were making the joke about the dragon fang earlier, and the you got the dragon fang and the flame of Tarvalin. Well, why does the Aes Sedai symbol, which I don't even know that we saw that anywhere. It doesn't make any sense.
Not on their shawls, because they don't wear shawls. They talk
in the
about
ground,
wearing a
right?
shawl. They don't wear a shawl.
The Quindalar thing in the ground, which is what they're going to go around breaking. Those are going to be the seals, right?
Yeah.
God.
I'm right, Dave. I'm right. Sorry.
This is the question the fans want answered.
No. You skipped one. There's one up there from.
No one even cares. It's just him saying that he's so secure in his job that he doesn't have to listen to Brando. Like
I think the worst showrunners are either insecure or over secure.
Yeah.
You'll either not listen to anything or you'll listen to absolutely everything. I feel relatively secure.
To think he managed to have both of those. Like over secure in the sense that he feels completely unlimited in what he's allowed to wreck, but also incredibly insecure in that the slightest amount of fan criticism drives him to distraction. Like
I'll make Perrin gay, that tweet.
I think the worst showrunners are either insecure or over secure.
You know what I think?
And insecure and over secure. That's what you are, or would be preferable.
I think the worst showrunner is a fucking idiot. And that's what Rafe Judkins is.
Agreed.
Let's keep going.
All right. Sravatamala asking the important questions that everyone wants to know.
Well, Dane, keep in mind, there are more people who asked questions than this, but this is just one that he chose to answer. Right? Yeah. That's what we're seeing. Because there's a shit ton of questions here that he didn't decide to answer at all.
Well, I got to say, we only got about maybe 10 more minutes before Prophet needs to bounce to go, have himself saved by his son on Wheel of Time, the game. And I think, Alex, you said you need to go here shortly as well.
Yeah, my phone's actually ringing, boys. I got to head out.
All right. Well, hey, Alex, thanks for being on with us so far. And, we'll back on the rewatches and everything else.
See you, bud.
Thanks, bud. See you later.
Yeah, I think we can...
Bye, Trip.
So I want to try and hunt through... the last of these that might be worth kind of pulling up before the end here. Dane, you kind of skimmed through these.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick, this Ruby answer is bullshit. Next. We tried to put a ruby on a hilt of a dagger. No, you didn't. Moving on. I mean, it's a chapter logo. The dagger is a chapter logo in the book. How would you frick that up?
And again, from a dagger design point,
it was never reading on camera.
Why would you put a gemstone right through the tang? You're basically inviting that blade to snap.
That's weak as hell. Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
No,
this pisses me off.
Totally true.
Nobody that made anything for the show read any of it.
it's funny, like watching, having these conversations is really bringing me back to my thoughts reading this, sort of the day it was released.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one down here that I think we should touch on, which is DG Wow 123.
All right,
you can scroll.
It's a good point,
it's a couple
Mike.
questions down.
Mike makes
but I
a
can
good
start
point
reading
in
it.
chat there.
There we go. Yep, I got it. You can read it off.
Other than blaming an earlier one for COVID on the bad CGI,
I just want to say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dean.
Yeah, Prophet. What's up?
Oh no, Mike. I think came up with it. They couldn't buy a dagger on eBay that matched, so that's why they did that dagger, because they bought it.
Are you aware of the large amount of negative reviews from top critics and what their main critiques are? What have you learned from them, and what are you going to do to resolve these complaints for future seasons? Putting aside the ones who are comparing it to Game of Thrones or just hate fantasy, many of them complain about pacing being too fast, packed with too many plot points in each episode, and most importantly, the character development is lacking and viewers are not invested in them, making key events less impactful. He replies, yeah, I think it's always important to hear people and take the show and comment on it, but not be chasing approval. If you try and make a show that everyone likes, you'll have an actual pile of trash at the end. Well, wait a fucking second, because you actually got a pile of trash at the end. So what were you trying to do?
The beginning and the end. The whole thing is just a giant pile of trash.
Good
when you
point.
get it,
it's better to make a show that some people truly love, even if others think it's a pile of trash. Ha. He knows it's a pile of trash.
Well, but
that's why he's saying this comment.
Here's the other thing. When you have, you make that comment, you have a built-in fan base of millions of people.
90 million copies sold.
Of millions and millions of built-in fan base that would love it and would push this and all that. And you choose to instead push that to the side and make, other people, do whatever the hell you want, instead of doing the thing that makes the most sense. It's just, he's arrogant and he thinks he's better than Robert Jordan. That's all there is to it.
Well, and isn't his job actually to be chasing approval, getting the ratings, making sure the show continues on and that it's successful for Amazon? I mean, to me, that's
secondary concern. It was a secondary concern for him.
Yeah. Well, look, man, this show could have gone 10 seasons easy, 10 episodes a season. It could have, if you just followed, follow the book just a little bit, just a little.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we got a few minutes left, Prophet. I don't want to keep you so long that you can't set yourself up for your stream. So I know you got a couple minutes there. James, I identify as a horse, so don't question the nature of my reality. Thank you very much. But okay, Dane, did you have that one LPK put in? I'm kind of curious. I want to know what was it.
All right, I'm hit my keyboard here. And up.
You search that up real quick, and then I guess Trip. Thank you first of all for coming out. It's been great having you on. We'll have you back on more rewatches and other content coming out. And then obviously Prophet, Steve, thank you so much for coming on our inaugural first live stream here where we're just bullshitting about 6-month-old content. That's the only thing we know how to do on the Whitecloaks. We're not up to date on the new.
It's fun, man. I mean, it's good to talk about it. We need to talk about it, to be honest. So, I mean, I was glad to be here, and anytime I can join you guys. Let me know if you need anything. If I'm around, I'll help out if I can.
So, anybody who doesn't know who Lewis Perrin Kinslayer was,
Lewis Perrin
Kinslayer.
Oh, okay. I don't.
Reddit handle.
The guy was a fuck.
So Easton's panicking because it's almost 9:00. We're okay. All right. Get your chair.
We're doing it.
Sorry. Go ahead, Dane. I'm sorry. So
LPK, Dane, as we call him, or Lewis Perrin Kinslayer, did all the Narg posting. So the Narg meta memes about. You can find it, just too good. Really, really great memes. Really, really good guy. But he actually commented or submitted a question into this AMA, and it only got 15 upvotes, and obviously Raginor didn't reply to it. but I think we just need to read it for here because it's fucking epic. So LPK asked 8 months ago, Amazon is widely criticized for having no concerns over the well-being of its warehouse and delivery employees and has actively broken up attempts for unionized labor. Are you conflicted that the budget for the show is built off the exploitation of these workers? Also, I do know, but can you confirm, do Amazon studio productions such as Wheel of Time work with labor unions for the production staff and actors and actresses?
Didn't they flee to another country to film this so they didn't have to?
Exactly.
Several different countries, wasn't it?
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Great. LPK just cutting in deep. All right, Prophet. Tell everybody what you're about to go do, and I'm going to migrate over in the comments or in the comment section on your stream in a minute. I need to see you get thrown down. So what's happening?
I gotta get you modded over there. I'm not sure who I gotta get some mods over there, but so I'm gonna be playing the much I didn't even know it existed, the Wheel of Time video game. For anybody that doesn't know that there was one, I think it came out in
critically
1990.
acclaimed.
It is actually pretty fun, man. I can't even believe it, but I think it was 1999. It came out on PlayStation 1, I think it was, but I've been playing through it with my youngest son, Easton, Prophet Jr., as we so lovingly call him. I know, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate you, brother. And I had delusions that I was going to play it, and he told me I'm too terrible at it, and he's taking over. So he plays, I take over when he gets a little tired, and then he gets back in and saves my butt again. So it's all pretty much all in good fun. We have a bunch of laughs, and play this game that the cutscenes are better than the show, if you can believe it or not. It has nothing to do with the book whatsoever.
Very believable.
That is for damn sure. Better world building than 8 hours of Amazon Wheel of Prime.
It's crazy, but it really is, isn't it?
And Steve, the upshot of having Easton play for you is that you won't have me in the chat going, get good.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, I sit down every once in a while. Then Dane shows up magically. Is like, you suck. It's like, what do you do? So
just reading the comments. Why is he so mean?
So that's gonna be on my channel, Prophet of the Dragon, and come have a laugh, and we'll be hanging out. So for a little bit, not sure how long, but it'll be fun. So thank you guys for having me.
I'll be heading over there. I hope some of the people migrate over there as well. And I just want to thank people. OBG, thank you so much for coming out for this. And with some of the greatest comments we've seen in the stream, I am Vendel showing up and being a supporter with some good comments as well. Let's see, man, so many good guys. Aldan was here. Zach
Jonathan
was
R.
here.
Still there?
Max was here. Some of them may be here. I'm just scrolling up through the comments and seeing which names I recognize. Anybody who I didn't call out your name right here, obviously we've been pulling up comments. Really, really love and appreciate the support. You guys have been awesome. I don't have anything else to say other than that. Yeah, you guys have been awesome. Dane, you have anything?
Yeah, so we got episodes of the rewatch dropping this week. We got with Mana Manethrin, so we're doing the middle section of episode 4. And this weekend, we're going to shoot the finale of that episode 4 with Steve as our special guest. And those they'll be up on YouTube a little bit later. But if you're a member of our Discord, you can probably watch us film these live. But yeah, looking forward to that. And everybody who kind of likes this type of content, I think we got some more ideas for what we could live stream about. But yeah, give us a like, subscribe if you like what you see, or tell your friends. Trying to grow this, obviously, in time for the show's eventual cancellation, which season 2 or 3 we're not quite sure about, but we'll be there no matter what.
Yeah, and then we'll continue talking some Wheel of Time because it's fun. We'll talk the good stuff.
And then I am Vendel, 100% right. Everybody, walk in the light. Thank you so much.
Hail the Lord Dragon.
Damn it, Steve.